A train car, morning light, the world is moving, and no one's inside it. A page turns, 3 lines, then the thumb twitches like it heard something. The pocket opens, a small glow, a small hit, and the paragraph's gone. Not because they chose to, because their body remembered the door. People keep saying your attention span is broken, like it's a defect, like you were born with less focus than the generation before you. But attention isn't a personality trait. Attention is a trained response, which means there's a trainer, and it isn't you. TikTok, Reels, Shorts, infinite scroll, autoplay, notifications, a ranking system that learns what keeps your thumb moving. That isn't content, that's conditioning. So here's the twist. Your mind isn't failing, it's adapting. Short form doesn't teach you to watch, it teaches you to leave. A swipe is a decision with no cost, no commitment, no ending. A hard cut, over and over. And hard cuts have a price. Psychology calls it a switch cost. The brain's reset tax every time you jump tracks. Even if you feel fast, the cost still exists. One research group describes it plainly. Your brain needs time to let go before it can fully grab the next thing. And here's the part that makes it feel like your attention is shrinking. Attention doesn't reset when you switch. In 2009, researcher Sophie Leroy put a name on the ghost that follows you between tasks. Attention residue. You leave, but part of you stays behind. So if your day is built from micro switches, messages, clips, tabs, notifications, your focus becomes fractured by default. Not broken, trained. Short form doesn't just change how long you pay attention. It changes what your brain expects attention to feel like. Every clip is engineered to pay you immediately. A surprise, a punchline, a shock, a reveal. So the baseline quietly rises. The dose increases. A 2024 scientific perspective makes the point cleanly. When attention is divided and constantly stimulated, boredom can actually increase because the brain raises the standard for what feels engaging. And you can see the arms race in the timeline. Text wasn't fast enough, so we got images, then video, then shorter video. Not because it's better, because it's faster. So when real life offers slower rewards, a book, a conversation, a project, it can feel strangely flat. Not because life changed, because your training did. Now the engine that keeps you practicing? Uncertainty. The American Psychological Association defines a variable ratio schedule as a reinforcement after a variable number of responses. The same pattern that makes gambling so sticky. Short form feeds don't promise you a reward, they promise the possibility of one. Most clips are fine, some are nothing. Then one lands perfectly. That maybe is the handle. In episode 4, we call the feed a casino. This is how the casino trains you to keep pulling. Training only works if practice time is massive. It is. According to Data Reportal, using GWI survey data, typical adults spend well over 2.5 hours a day inside social media and video feeds, about 18 hours a week. 2.5 hours a day doesn't seem violent until you realize what it is. Practice. Every day, every week, for years. That isn't screen time. That's training time. And among younger users, it's heavier. Data Reportal reports women aged 16 to 24, averaging roughly 25 hours a week on social platforms. That isn't habit, that's a curriculum. Pew Research Center reported that roughly 1 in 5 US teens say they are on TikTok and YouTube almost constantly. Now add the interruption layer. One recent paper reports a median of hundreds of notifications a day for young people, and cites evidence that notifications disrupt attention and worsen task performance. So the environment isn't quiet enough for focus to form. It's loud by design. Even the brain's filter starts to change. Stanford research on heavy media multitasking found that heavy multitaskers were more susceptible to irrelevant distractions. They struggle to ignore what doesn't matter. Association isn't destiny, but it's a signal. When you train the system long enough, it leaves a trace. So what do you do with this? Not advice, a diagnosis. If attention is trained, the question changes. It's not, why can't I focus? It's, what have I been practicing? After enough repetitions, 3 instincts get installed. Slow feels wrong. Uncertainty feels urgent. Discomfort triggers escape. Not because you're weak, because you practice the exit. And here's the uncomfortable part. The platforms don't need to steal your attention. They just need to make leaving your default response. Because a person who lives easily is predictable. And predictable behavior is worth money. So no, your attention span isn't broken. It's been trained. Trained to switch. Trained to crave faster stimulation. Trained to treat uncertainty like a lever. And once your behavior becomes predictable, it becomes tradable. In the next episode, we follow the money behind that prediction. Because behind the feed, there's an auction you never see.